If you're a custodial supervisor at a local high school, you know that cleanliness is key, and that the best place to get cleaning supplies is from Grainger. Grainger helps you stay fully stocked on the products you trust, from paper towels and disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Plus, you can rely on Grainger for easy reordering, so you never run out of what you need. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
Princess, my empress still gonna impress. I know them.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy back at it again. It feels like I have been away for a minute, but your boy is back. Welcome to another edition of the Rico Report, brought to you by the Buffalo Fanatics. What's good, my peoples? Listen, man, we got a few things to talk about today. I got things to get off my chest. I got a few things I got to get off my chest to some folks that just be still in their feelings. I feel like a lot of Bills fans, myself included, because y'all see me when it's game time, I get in my emotions. But I come back to reality and then I just kind of, accept things for what they are. But some folks, I tell you, just can't accept things for what they are. And I'm going to bring that up in just a moment. But welcome, folks. What's happening? I got a question for everyone. I need to ask y'all, man, because we need to figure something out, man. Do I keep the backdrop? I've been wondering what do I do? Do I go the more sophisticated way, get a few pictures up, you know what I'm saying? Kind of turn that, get that corner. What do I do? Or do you guys kind of chill with the backdrop? Or should I just get a totally different backdrop? I've been wondering because I'm like, I gotta change it up. I need to change it up, man. We're already in 2023. I've had this for a couple years now. Time to switch up, right? I think so. So you guys let me know if I should switch it up, get a different backdrop, or completely just go down with it and just, put some pictures up and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Kind of dress it up a little bit. You guys let me know. But welcome, folks, to a wonderful show we're going to have tonight. But I want to kind of touch around the NFL. I got to touch around the NFL. I got to touch around a few things. But before we touch on the NFL, how are you guys? How are you guys doing with this offseason? That we just haven't been active. We're active, but we're not active. You feel what I'm saying? Like we making moves, we making a few splashes, but nothing to write home about. My man Bobby says, "Yo, just paint the wall green, bro. Paint the wall green, and just put any backdrop you want." He wants me to go with the green screen and go from there. I could do that too. I could do that. That might be a flex. I mean, my man Rev's got a nice clean backdrop, so that might be a flex. But we work on something. But here's the deal, man. We've been just making little splashes. No big splash, but we expected it. We very much expected it. And the one expectation that I want to have is that we're going to come back strong. We're going to come back healthy, and we're going to be as competitive as can be. But are we? Are we going to be competitive this year? Because I started looking at the positional needs. I started looking at the positions that have gotten older, the positions that are frequently injured, the positions the position groups that there's no longer the same people around. Like the team, although very similar, but the team's changed. The team is very changed. So how are you guys feeling? How are you going through the motions of this offseason? Are you hating it? Do you kind of like this low-key vibe? Are we going to hit heavy and hit hard in this draft? I have my thoughts on this draft as well. This is one of those drafts that we can't la-di-da. I want at least my first 2 draft picks, I need them to be instant contributors. Instant contributors. The real question is, where do we need to add these instant contributors? I don't want developmental players. I'm sorry. I don't want it. I don't want an AJ Epinesa that has got to chill. I don't want a Boogie Basham that's got to chill in the second round. That's got to chill. I don't want that, man. I want my guys to play right away. I don't want a second round pick and James Cook that's got to chill. 89 carries all year long. That doesn't even hit what is he at? 89 to 90 carries all year long. I don't want that. Aren't you guys sick of that? We get these draft picks. Beane covets these draft picks just to have these guys develop. I get it. We got to plan for the future. But wouldn't you guys all agree that we're in the right now? We want to win right now. So guess whose mentality has to change? McDermott. McDermott's got to get past this rookies don't play bullshit. It don't work that way, man. These players are ready to come and play now. Right? These guys are hitting camps all like right through high school, right before high school. They're going to camp. They're going to everything possible to prepare themselves for this. Yo, these boys are ready to play, man. This coddling business, McDermott, you need to stop. Now that you're going to be playing play calling, you're going to be calling plays, maybe your mentality changes. Who knows? I would love it for it to happen. That's why this year's big. This year's big for many reasons. Beane has to hit on this draft. McDermott's calling plays. Leslie Frazier's gone. Jordan Poyer, Micah will be back. We got a whole new different run game with some new additions. Defense is a little slightly different. Von Miller is going to be, maybe he's back by week 1. Clearly he might not be. He might be coming back later on. So there's a lot of questions. And we need Mr. Beane and McDermott to answer them. And it starts, it should have started in free agency, but we knew we weren't going to be big players. But it starts now. It starts with this whole draft prospect business and how we're going to handle things. And there's still a few waves. There's still some casualty cuts that's going to happen. So I'm sure he's going to be busy. But we got plenty of time to get into this Bills talk. I promise you I'm going to get into that. But let's go around the league a little bit. Cardinals. The Cardinals are in some drama. The Cardinals are in some drama. There's some tea to be spilled. But speaking of tea, let me sip on my tea. You know what I'm saying? Because we're going to share a little bit of tea. There's some drama, man. First of all, burner phones. Yo, these cats are having burner phones so they can communicate with GMs and coaches that weren't supposed to be part of the squad. Bro, listen, the NBA, whenever the NBA has a scandal with their owners, they act swiftly. They act immediately. That bozo from the Clippers talking all that junk, like, yo, you're done. Sell your team. You got 48 hours to sell your team. Yo, there was no games being played. The games are being played. NBA, yo, they handle their business. The big difference here is the owners, they run this freaking league in the NFL. Owners run the league. And Goodell works for the owners. So Goodell, he's a little biased. He's a little biased, man. So we're going to see how this plays out. I know the Cardinals are the Cardinals, but it's not the point. The point is this, man. It's all about the shield, right? Protect the shield. You got some guys that are doing some questionable things. Schneider with the Commanders. You should have had this man sell his team a long time ago, but this played out for so long. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me started on Goodell with my man Jim Trotter, one of the better freaking reporters out there, journalists out there. He peppers Goodell every single year about what you gonna do about the blacks in the newsroom. We hardly have any executives. What are you gonna do about it, Goodell? What are you doing to change things? 2 years straight, he's been getting peppered, and Goodell's just, you know what I mean, go around and round and round and round and round. Finally, he's like, yo, Jim Trotter's out. He fires Jim Trotter because Jim Trotter's been on his ass. Golly, man. So listen, changes got to be made. Washington Commanders about to sell their team. Magic Johnson's about to take over that. Magic Johnson with the Commanders. How about that? Hey, Lamar Jackson still without any progress. Teams are saying I'm out when they have no business saying I'm out. Atlanta Falcons, get out of here with Desmond Ridder. Knock it off. Commanders, Howell, knock it off. Those are two teams right there. Wouldn't Lamar Jackson be perfect fit? We're going to the Commanders with Eric Bieniemy taking over. He gets to start fresh. He's got a quarterback that's been an MVP in the league already. No, we're good. Rivera's like, no, we're good. Sam Howell's going to. Boy, please, man. Crazy nonsense. Lamar still no progress. Still in limbo. Hopefully things start to move around for my man Lamar Jackson once this draft takes place. Once things start moving, hopefully something pans out. Or he's just going to go right back to playing for $32 million, and then next year he hits the market again. We'll see how that plays out, man. But some dirt around the league, man. But I don't want to touch too much on it. But there is one thing I do want to touch on. And that is a trade scenario. So Good Morning, I think it was on Good Morning Football. Good Morning Football put a trade scenario out. And I need to vent a little bit, right? So let me put the trade scenario up right now. So the trade scenario, a mock trade scenario. So the Bills are on the clock, and the Bills and Cardinals make a trade. The Bills receive the third overall pick. The third overall pick. And they get one of the best receivers in the game right now in Deandre Hopkins. But here's what the Cardinals would receive in return. The 27th overall pick. So we swap our first round picks. We move up 24 spots. They get the 59th overall pick, our second round pick. They get the 2024 first round pick and the 2024 second round pick. And they get Gregory Rousseau. And we get the third overall pick and Deandre Hopkins. Now, it's an interesting offer. And immediately I've seen people say, heck no. Are you on drugs? Are you on crack? Why would anybody make that trade? Blase, blase, blase. Now, here's the deal. Some people want to say it's absurd. When you think about it, I know why you guys are saying it's absurd. 2024 first round pick, 2024 second round pick. Are you nuts? I'm not giving up those picks. It's the picks. Some people are enamored with the picks. So I've been on record saying I'm out on Hopkins. I'm out on Hopkins. I'm good. I'd rather get younger. However, the Bills would receive the third overall pick. The things you can do with the third overall pick. Impact player in the interior line, you can grab them right there with the third pick. Or you trade down and accumulate picks in the first round and load up. And load up in the first round by trading down. Forget about 2024, 2022. You know what I'm saying? Those two picks in 2024, first or second round pick. Essentially, they're picking late because the Bills are always going to be in contention, especially if they play their cards right and draft extremely well. Now you get a reset on a young player. This is what I was trying. And the thing, people that like, whether you gave it thought or it was just a quick thought, but you really got to break it down a little bit. Imagine what you get. You get DeAndre Hopkins. I know his age. Trust me. Because I told you publicly I'm out on it. But the trade, if they were to accept this trade, here's what you get. You got two top 5, top 10 receivers on one squad right off the bat. Forget about the finances for now. Because I'm sure they would figure the finances out some way, somehow. You got 2 top 10 receivers on one squad. So now you can't double Stephon Diggs. You wouldn't be able to double Hopkins. And then you have Shakir, and I'm going to go with the youth on this. Forget about Gabe Davis for now. I'd go with the youth player that can go inside and outside. So now you have 3 legitimate threats at the receiver spot. Your offense right then and there looks pretty damn scary. All right? Now you have the third overall pick. You can go with Jalen Carter. I mean, look what I mean, not that there is a Sauce Gardner in the draft, but look what the Jets did. They grabbed Sauce Gardner, and what a difference Sauce Gardner has been for that team. So you need an impact player, and you can very well get your impact player with the 3rd overall pick. You can do what the heck you want. Or you can trade down and just accumulate more. And then you're back in business. You got yourself your number 1 receiver. You got 2 number 1 receivers on one squad and a plethora of picks in this draft. Next year you won't be able to get anything, but you got everything in this draft. So why wouldn't you at least consider? You should read the comments. The comments, people wouldn't even consider it. They wouldn't even consider it whatsoever. You would have to at least consider it. Would we lose Greg Rousseau? Yes, we'd lose Greg Rousseau. But you don't think we'd be able to pick up a fresh, young, I mean, not that Greg Rousseau is not fresh and young, but a rookie on a nice, cheap contract, you get him in there. Come on now. Multiple, if you get some trades in, you could replenish your line right then and there in the first 2 rounds. And if you trade down enough, you get some good value picks. But nobody at least wants to consider. And I'm not saying let's do that. It's just something to consider. I just noticed everybody was just up in arms. This is idiotic. You should never do that. Rah, rah. Golly. The potential on that trade is pretty dope. 2 top-end receivers, an elite quarterback. You got a speed back in James Cook. Just saying. It would be something. Anyways, Good Morning Football had that on there. I thought it was very interesting. But I just noticed more of the replies. The replies were just immediately shutting it down without even consideration. Come on now. At least consider it to say, okay, what angles can I take? I'm just saying. So, and that got me thinking even more, right? The draft, right? And our needs. What are our draft needs, folks? What do we need on this team? And I'm not going to get into the draft specifics, a specific player. I'm more talking about the positional needs, the needs that we have on this team. What is it that we need? Where do we begin? So I'm talking to my brother today, and we're talking about, I mean, when you have siblings, you talk about sports, you talk about all that good stuff, right? And we're talking, and I gave him a hypothetical question. And as he's answering my hypothetical question, I'm listening to it, and then something just dawned on me. And I was like, the games that we lost, which were 3 of them, in those 3 losses, and I only wanted to focus on those 3 losses. In those 3 losses, 1 to Miami, 1 to the Jets, and obviously to the Vikings. And obviously, you know what, we'll count the Bengals later on. Right? But regular season, we had 3 regular season losses. And before I get into our draft needs, this plays into it. The Miami Dolphins loss. If you guys remember, if you go back to the Miami Dolphins game, it was a hot game. You know what I'm saying? They had us in the sun, baking, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? All those excuses that were made. But we came short. We lost 21-19, excuse me. But like, what was it in that game that stood out that perpetuated this loss? It wasn't a whole lot, because for the most part, we dominated in time of possession. We had like 40 minutes, 39 to 40 minutes of time of possession. So we had the rock. We were dominating. We had it. We were, you know what I'm saying, moving the ball at will. But we weren't capitalizing. That was our problem. We didn't finish. At the end of the day, Allen had time to bring us back, and we fell short. Literally fell short. Isaiah McKenzie in the end zone, ball into the dirt. So then I went back and I was like, what was missing that game? What could have changed the outcome of that game? What could we have done more in that game? I mean, Josh had a monster game that game, right? Josh was Josh. But then I went to the run game. I went to the receiving game. I went to the defensive stat. I was like, okay, so who stood out? Who was the impact player? But something stood out to me. And I looked back at the run game. I went back to the run game and I was like, Devin Singletary, 9 carries, 13 yards. Very interesting. Zach Moss was on the squad. 4 carries for 46 yards. He ripped up a 43-yard run that game. And our leading rusher, Josh Allen, of course, 8 carries for 47 yards. So take away Josh Allen running the rock to help us. Bro, 13 yards and 46 yards. We have 40 freaking. It's not going to cut it. 59 yards rushing. Ain't going to cut it. If you want to win these close games, sometimes you got to, you know what I mean? You got to be able to move the rock. We've got to be able to move the freaking rock. 9 carries, 13 yards. 4 carries for 46 yards with a 40, non-reliable run game. No wonder Josh was beat up and tired all at the end. He's carrying this freaking team. He needs the help. So that's what stood out to me in that game. So when I go to draft needs, to me, you get a change of pace back. You get a back that doesn't need many carries, but will make the most of his carries. Speed, agility, you know what I'm saying? Contact balance, vision, anticipation, all those things that make a great back. We didn't have that in that backfield. Was that a contributing factor as to why we lost? I think so. Although the game was close, 21-19, we had 40 minutes of possession. It was just, but we ran the ball for 59 yards rushing? Crazy. So that first game, although close, that's the one thing that kind of stood out to me. 59 total yards rushing without Josh Allen. That's loss number 1. Let's go to the Jets. Funny enough, we lose to 2 games into the AFC East. Terrible. We just can't have that again. We can't have that happen again. The Jets, we lose 20-17. Do you guys remember that game? Ooh, I remember that game. That game had me upset. That game had me vexed. So the glaring needs in that game, or the glaring, they're saying errors that happened in that game that stand out to me. Gabe Davis, that game, had 2 receptions for 33 yards and multiple drops. 2 receptions for 33 yards on 5 targets. Stephon Diggs had 10 targets that game. Not effective. Not effective. So I'm sitting here going back and remembering this game and going through the box score, and I'm like, oh, yes, oh, yeah. Everything started coming back to me. They took away they took away Stephon Diggs that game, and they said, I dare you to try to throw the ball to your receiver number 2. Gabe Davis didn't show up. Let's forget about that for a second, right? So receiver 2 stood out to me. We need someone that can create for themselves, can get separation, and help out their quarterback when your number 1 receiver is being double teamed and triple teamed. We need that other guy. That game, Gabe wasn't it. It wasn't it. The Jets had 3 sacks that game and 2 interceptions. They were getting pressure on Josh Allen. It was nonstop. Josh Allen was moving left to right, pressure on his ass. But one of the big things that stood out was 174 rushing yards. Where the heck was our interior line? Where the heck were our linebackers? What's going on? Like, how are we letting 174 yards rushing without their number 1 back in Breece Hall? No, we can't let that shit happen. We can't let that happen. So to me, I'm looking at the receiver position. I'm looking at the interior D line, defensive tackle position. We got to stuff that. We can't allow that. 176 yards. Where my linebackers at? So those things stand out to me when I start looking back at these games. Let me get a super chat in from my man Ismael Manero. What's up, Ish? Ish goes, yo, man. I would trade back from that 3 spot and then get Bijan. He's what you get when Marshawn and LaShawn have a baby. I'm gonna tell you, man. I got a stat for y'all later on. I'm gonna drop that stat for you guys a little bit later. I wouldn't call it a stat, but a little research I did. Not crazy research, just something light. All right. So I hope you guys are with me because I'm like the Jets. What stood out was receiver 2. We didn't have that guy that can offset. They take away Stephon Diggs. All right, I can depend on that guy. Couldn't. Took it away. 176 yards rushing. We can't allow that crap. No wonder we lost that game. They're running all over us. Zach Wilson was catching footballs left, right, center. Like we got our plate. Straight up. Jets game. Loss. Vikings. The infamous Vikings game, right? 33-30. We fumble. We bat down. We don't even do that. There were so many blemishes we had that game. That game should have been had. Against a terrible defense at that. The Vikings had an awful defense. I mean, hence us putting up 30 points on them. And we still lose that. We got to be better. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I see something like this. I'm like, okay, let's take a look at the box score. Let's take a look at, time of possession. Let's look at the team stats. Let's view this whole thing. So I go, all right, 33 points. That means we must have been running the ball well. That must have been, we're putting up points. Let's go see what the running backs did. Let me see. Oh, total 18 carries for 69 yards rushing. That's Singletary and Cook combined. Josh alone had 84 yards rushing. So let's remove Josh from the equation. Once again, the run game, 18 carries for 69 yards. I'm not saying that it's Cook. I'm not saying that it's Singletary. It's just as a whole, we got to be better. We've got to be better. That's a terrible Vikings defense. And we still couldn't move the ball on the ground. Here's the deal. Josh had turnovers that game. That hurts. But 43 pass attempts. Do we have to pass the ball that much that we don't respect the run game? You're passing 43 times to the 18 carries? Oh, come on, son. This is where you need that impact player. This is where you need that impact player. Somebody says, hey, but what about that O-line? You know what? Not every O-line is going to be a solid, man. You're not going to have an amazing O-line. This is where when you get that special RB that doesn't need an elite line, he can manipulate the line, manipulate defenses in order to kind of get that game. You're not always going to have the perfect block and have the best lineman. So that's where you have to have a special RB in that backfield. So that stood out to me, especially against a bad defense. Now, here's another thing. The minute Edmonds was out the game because he got hurt, that's when the Vikings started to really open up their offense. They really started to pour it on. So then it started maybe saying, you know what, wait a minute now. Maybe it's not just the RB position. Wait a minute. Edmonds leaving for the Bears. Could that be an issue? Could that be an issue? Is that where we will decide to go and go linebacker? Hold on a second. Didn't we draft 2 linebackers last year? We drafted Terrell Bernard, Mr. Bernard, and Balin Spector in the late rounds, the 7th round. Are we going to draft another LB again? Are we going to do it early because we lost Tremaine Edmonds? Well, Tremaine Edmonds leaving that game was extremely important because that's when the Vikings really started to put it on us. So something to really consider when looking at these positional needs. LB. And funny enough, Edmonds is no longer here. So can Milano carry it by himself, or he's going to need someone like an Edmonds to kind of fill that void? Is it Balin Spector? Is it Terrell Bernard? The undersized Terrell Bernard? We'll see. I'm still puzzled by the Terrell Bernard draft in the 3rd round. I really, truly am. Draft the guy in the 3rd round just to relegate him to special teams. Tell me that's not weird. My man Javon says, hey, man, Bernard doesn't fit what we need at Mike linebacker, and Spector can't be trusted. He's simply not good. I like Spector, actually. Spector's better than you believe. If you go back to looking at and I know it's preseason, but you go back to look at the preseason, he stands out. He absolutely stands out. Campbell will be available in the second round. Get Robinson. He will be available at 27. If not, he goes to the Pats. I'm just saying, folks, let's not make the same mistake we did with Breece Hall. Let's keep it moving. Singletary, Cook, 69 yards on 18 carries. Edmonds hurt. Huge difference in the game. Linebacker gone. Big size, all that stuff. It's just Milano. Maybe it was just not enough. Just not enough. And then the infamous loss to the Bengals. That was just a straight beatdown. Nowhere in that game did we perform. Nowhere. We didn't perform at the receiver position. We didn't perform at the RB position. We certainly didn't perform on the defensive front. And we certainly didn't perform on the defensive back. We didn't perform on the old line. We just did not perform, period. I can't find the one bright spot on the squad that can say, yeah, that guy. Maybe our punter. You feel me? So those losses, those were the things that stood out to me. That was okay. So like, what were we lacking? How come we didn't win that game? And I wanted to dive in a little bit more to the ones that we just narrowly won. What was it that just allowed us to kind of squeak away and we just narrowly won, right? The Ravens game, barely got by the Ravens, just needed it. But sometimes you need those wins. You need those close ones. The freaking Detroit Lions, you need those close ones. Clutch, you need them. But I wanted to focus on the L's today. I wanted to focus on the losses. So then, which brings me to the positional needs. I looked at those games. I was like, all right, where is it that we need to be? Where is it? So, honorable mention, before I get into my top 5, honorable mention is the tight end position. This almost made my list. And Rev would have been completely happy with this. This almost made my list. But then I feel, you know what? This might be the year that we utilize Dawson Knox to his full potential. I mean, really utilize Dawson Knox to his full potential. Quentin Morris is coming up. Maybe this is where he takes his leap. Sweeney's gone. He's not going to be eating into his touches. So maybe this is where we really make things happen. But then I was thinking, what if they don't trust Quentin Morris? Maybe Quentin Morris is where he is for a reason. Maybe this is where we draft somebody at the tight end position and pair that up with Dawson Knox. That was my honorable mention. Go with that 2 tight end set. Let's roll. Because that's exactly what I thought was going to happen when we brought in O.J. Howard at tight end on free agency. And then we cut him. Go figure. So tight end was my honorable mention. So let's start right now. Number 5. We're going to go from 5 all the way to 1 to the most important. I struggled once I kept on moving up. By the way, do me a favor, folks. We got over 100 people watching right now, 150 people watching right now. Smash that like. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Share this to your pages. Let's get this thing going. I want to be able to grow this channel and try to get to 30K. 30K by the time the season begins. That's a tall task to ask. But let's try to get this thing going. So here we go. Number 5. This was a tough one. Let's go to the defensive backfield. That's one of the bigger positions of need. And I'm going to go more specifically at the safety position. The safety position. Whoa, Rico, why would you go with the safety position? Why not? Jordan Poyer was nearly banged up, almost left. He comes back, does a presser. He mentions, and he starts dropping the R word. What? I've always read and I've always seen that whenever someone starts dropping the R word, they're halfway out the door. And if you're halfway out the door when you bring up the R word, how much more juice do you really have? And I'm not questioning the juice that Poyer has because he brings it all the time. But when you bring up the R word, retirement, how much you still really in it? How much you really in it? That's what I'm saying, right? So let's look at the safety room. Poyer, 32. Bagged up, but he's coming back. And he's going to be paired up with his homie, Micah Hyde. Micah Hyde, 31. 30 to 31. So you got two aging guys, one coming off a pretty serious neck injury that had him pretty much out the rest, most of the season. And you have one that barely kept his body together and fought hard and kept his defense going all the way right to the end until he was concussed and kicked out the game. So he was beat up. So we got two older, injured players coming back from injury. It's got to make you kind of say, I'm watching. So maybe this is where we get young in the draft. Do we go and draft a safety? Is this the draft for a safety? So that's something to consider. So when I started looking at that, I'm like, okay, well who do we have on the squad? Hamlin. Do we know if Hamlin's even coming back? And if he does come back, how effective is he going to be? Is he going to be thinking too much? There's so many factors and variables that can go on with the situation. So we got Hamlin. We don't know what's going on with Hamlin. We know about Poyer. We know about Hyde. Cam Lewis, nickel / a little bit of corner, now transitioning to safety. Cam Lewis was in our doghouse for the longest time, wasn't he? We had the ability to go up against the Vikings and beat the Vikings after such a sloppy game and just take that and beat the Vikings. But nope. Went for the interception. Going for the interception when you should bat the ball down. And we, of all people, Bills fans should know, bat the ball down. Here comes Cam Lewis trying to go for the interception, trying to be that guy. He's trying to be him. Well, it just so happens the Vikings have a really good Mr. Him in freaking Jefferson. And Jefferson said, thank you very much. Let me take that and lead my team to victory. Cam Lewis, safety. Are you happy with that? Are you confident with that? I didn't think so. Christian Benford, corner / potentially we're going to try him out at safety and we'll see how that goes. When you could have done it all season long, you're going to wait for this offseason to try to make that happen. So right now, if you look at it, and then we just brought in Taylor Rapp, 25 years of age. So we got a little youth on that side. We got a little bit of a thumper at the safety position. We'll see how that plays out. So is the future going to be looking like a Taylor Rapp Benford? Who knows? But the point I'm trying to make is this. Safety position is not something that we should scoff at. Safety position might be a position that they say, you know what, let me go draft a safety and add this safety to this room. Get some youth infusion. Infuse this defense with a bit of youth. So that's number 5. That's the safety position. That's got to be a position that we might look at and try to add some contributed pieces. But thank goodness we have veteran guys that are coming off of injury, but healed in the process, going to have a strong offseason and bring it back and just finish their career strong. I mean, you're on the back end of your career. You want to try to finish strong and try to win that. You want to bring that chip to Buffalo. I think we all know what the deal is. So that's number 5. Safety position. How do you guys feel about that? Is the safety position on your mock? When you guys are doing all your mock drafts, is safety anywhere on that list? Did you draft it in the 4th round? Was it in the 7th round? Did you draft it early? Was it someone that you really like? You guys let me know in the chat. Let me know if you have any safety in your mock drafts. Let's go to number 4. What do you think my number 4 position of need is on this team? Where do you think I'm going with this? Talk to me. And if you guys, by the way, if you guys are with me on this, give me that thumbs up. Smash that like. That allows me to know that you guys are with me and we're going to keep rocking. Let's go to number 4. What you got? What do you think I'm going with number 4? Javon says he thinks I'm going DT, defensive tackle, D-line. D-line. You know, that's a good guess. James is like, yo, you going to go punter? Punter was going to be on my honorable mentions list, but I was like, nah, I ain't going to do it. Victor Ubli says, yo, man, it's probably going to be RB at the number 4 position. Well, you're wrong, folks. Number 4 position, the number 4 position of need, linebacker. You're probably like, what? Wouldn't you have that as the number 1? No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Hear me out. Here's the depth that we have on our squad. Linebacker, we have Milano. Newly extended Milano. Thank you, guys. Now you guys are with me, man. PVC says linebacker. We got my man David Devonshire says middle linebacker. So you guys are with me on linebacker. I know some people are like, what? Get out of here. My man James is like, no way, Rico. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I'm not kidding you. We going linebacker, baby. Ismail Manero says, yes, Rico. I joined for 2 minutes. Tell you about tell you about safety. Yo, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. Ismail, we're gonna talk about that. So safety was my number one. That's my fifth best. I mean, that's the fifth ranking in terms of positional need. Linebacker is next. Here we go. Do we need a linebacker? Yes and no. We drafted 2 last year. We don't know what they're about. We don't know what they're about because we're too busy stashing these linebackers and we don't let them kind of get on the field and show us what they got. Let me proceed. We got Milano. We got Tyrell Dotson that we brought back. We got Terrell Bernard. We got Balin Spector. And we got Tyler Matakavich. There's your linebacking crew. Does anything scream amazing? I'm ready to roll. Not a whole lot, man. Milano, Dotson. Dotson is no scrub. Let me make that very clear. Dotson is no scrub. And when he filled in for Edmonds on a couple occasions, this guy was racking up tackles. I think he had 2 games of 8 tackles or more. I think he got 1 game he was in double-digit tackles. So he's a tackling machine. He can get in there. He's no Edmonds. But would that be a nice compliment to Matt Milano where we don't need to address the linebacker position? No. I think we still will need to address the linebacker position. How high is the real question? A lot of people are talking about Jack Campbell. I'm not so sure on Jack Campbell. Thanks to my man Bobby. Bobby, if you guys haven't seen, everybody's on Jack Campbell talking about Jack Campbell this, Jack Campbell that. He's a this, he's a that. Go to the Buffalo Fanatics IG page, the Instagram page. There's a little breakdown on what linebacker Jack Campbell brings to the table. Watch it. Let me know how you guys feel, if you guys still feel strongly about a Jack Campbell. Now, here's the deal. We're primarily in nickel. You know that. So we're always going to have Matt Milano and said linebacker, whoever the said linebacker is. We don't do 3 linebackers set. Now with Coach McDermott taking over the calls, he might be multiple and switch things up. We'll see. We lost Edmonds. We got to replace him. Who are we going to replace him with? We've already gone through the free agency process. If we wanted someone.
Buffalo Fanatics, what's going on? This is Pierre the Kingpin, and I wanted to talk to you today about Cigars International, which is the ultimate destination for premium homemade cigars. Known as the industry leader, Cigars International offers the largest selection, unbeatable prices, and a customer service experience that's second to none. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned vet, Cigars International makes enjoying cigars easy, approachable, and fun. Cigars International is the go-to retailer for all things cigars, with the biggest selection of premium homemade cigars available anywhere. Cigars International offers unbeatable deals and discounts, making it easy to stock up on your favorite or try something new without breaking the bank. With fast free shipping and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence knowing that Cigars International stands behind every order. They have good relationship with vendors that helps provide great low prices. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned pro, Cigars International makes it easy to find the right cigar with helpful guides, staff reviews, and expert advice. It's not just about cigars. Cigars International also offers a wide range of accessories and more to elevate your smoking experience. Check out the great deals every day at cigarsinternational.com. That's cigars, CIGARS, international.com. Use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply. Again, use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply.
We would have got someone ASAP. So we'll see how that still plays out. There's still some meat on the bone still out there in free agency. So we'll find out. Ismael Manero comes in and says, Dotson is a better run-stopping linebacker than Edmond was. I agree. He's more of a thumper type of linebacker. He's got a bit of a somewhat of a nasty streak to him. And that's why part of me is why I put linebacker at number 4. Do we go linebacker again, though? 2 linebackers in the previous draft. Do we go right back at it again and go for a linebacker? What kind of linebacker do we need? Do we need a linebacker that's great in coverage? Or do we need that Nick Bolton type of linebacker that's a thumper, like a Jared Davis thumper level linebacker? To me, I think that we need to bring in a little bit of nasty streak. A little nasty streak to the linebacking position. One that when you get hit, you will feel it. You will feel that hit. Sideline to sideline, if you got the lateral speed enough to do that, great, but you come in and hit like a ton of bricks, that's the type of stuff you need in this type of Buffalo defense. Milano is a jack of all trades. This guy could do it all. But you get a thumper of a linebacker, give a different vibe than what Edmonds gave us. Maybe that's the role we need. But where do we draft that player? So linebacker, to me, that's number 4. Number 4 on my list is the linebacker position. And to me personally, I need a thumper of a linebacker. PVC fam says, hey man, Drew Sanders or Jack Campbell? Drew Sanders I'm starting to now get into my drafting and looking at the film on these players. Drew Sanders is next on my list to look at and see what he's saying. But I'm hearing some good things from my man Drew. Let's keep it rolling. So number 4, linebacker. Where do you think I'm going to go with number 3? Number 3. Where am I going with number 3? The number 3 most important position, draft need. The position of need, the draft need. We need to draft a player in this department. Where are we going with this? What position? Where am I going with this? My man Z-Type says cornerback. Definitely going to cornerback. PVC says, yo, we're going receiver. We're going receiver. Nathan says, we're going to go RB. Benny says, yo, we're going interior lineman. All right, I'm going to tell you right now, folks. Defensive tackle. Defensive tackle. You're like, ooh, defensive tackle? Really? Yes, really. So when you go to our defensive tackle, and you go to our defensive interior line, you got I don't want to say often injured, but an injured Jordan Phillips. Jordan Phillips was never right all year long. He had to get surgery on his shoulder, I believe, in the offseason. So, like, he wasn't all the way right. And if you're not available, then we're in a predicament because Jordan Phillips is a big body. I'm not saying he's an animal and you can't move him, right? But he's a big body and he can be tenacious. He can get after that quarterback. So who was our best interior lineman last year? Who was our best interior lineman? Can we all say, can we all agree that Daquan Jones was our best interior lineman last year? Would you have expected that? Part of me, yes. But who would you rather have a monster year because of the likes of Tim Settle, because of the likes of Daquan Jones? Didn't you think that Ed Oliver would have been, this is the year. This is the year. We finally got a true 3-tech DT, a 1-tech DT. We're going to allow our 3-tech DT and Ed Oliver let loose. He's going to go nuts this year. Watch out for this Bills defense. Dud. I'm not saying he didn't play well, but he didn't have the impact that a guy should have that we draft in the freaking first 10 picks. Am I lying? If I'm drafting you in the first 10 picks, you better be impactful. I need you to be impactful. You got guys that got drafted after him that are more impactful for their team than our guy Ed Oliver. I'm sorry, man. We need more out of you. And now you're going into your final year of your deal. And if you have a monster year, that's fantastic. That's great. But guess what? Marcel Dares did the same damn thing. Last year of his contract, went ham, 10 sacks, gave him a monster contract. Disappeared. Dis-a-freaking-peared. Do we fall for that again? Is he impactful enough for you folks? Or is it time, you know what? Let's go see what this draft is all about. I hear Jalen Carter's starting to drop. Maybe he drops down to 27. You just never know. But Daquan Jones was our best lineman. See, I just saw him, Ishmael Manedo's. Look at that. Daquan, the most consistent. You know what I'm saying? So we need to, he's like a grad, he's a tad, we say grad better than Vita Vea? I think you wanted to say tad, but I understand what you're saying. Daquan Jones was definitely our best lineman. Impactful, difference maker. You wish you had a few more of this guy on your squad. But although I love a Daquan Jones, but I would have rather my guy, the guy that I drafted, top 10 pick, to be more impactful. I had to go out and get Tim Settle. I had to go out and freaking pick up Daquan Jones. I had to go out and bring back Jordan Phillips. What's that telling you? I'm just saying. So to me, my number 3 position is the defensive interior. 31-year-old Daquan Jones was our best lineman, interior. Phillips, Settle, Oliver, you know what I'm saying? Eli Onku and Brandon Bryant. Those were our defensive tackles. Brandon Bryant came on pretty good. He had some moments at the end of the season. He started to come on. So we'll definitely see more of Brandon Bryant. But the key player in all of this is our former first rounder in Ed Oliver. He's a top 10 pick, folks. I thought we were going to pick TJ Hawkinson, but Ed Oliver ended up being that guy. I just need him to be more of an impact player, especially where we drafted you. You need to be more of an impact player. Or we get younger and hit the draft and go defensive tackle. One of them is going to fall right into our lap, like it always do for the freaking Ravens. Ravens always have a nice defensive player that falls right into their lap, and they're good to go. Jason Oweh. That's the guy I wanted. Bastards. But you guys catch my drift. So to me, DT is the number 3 position. Where's my number 2? Where are we going with number 2? What is my number 2 position? I feel that's where we need to focus and get somebody in the draft. So let me recap. Number 5, safety. Number 4, linebacker. Number 3, defensive tackle. Where are we going with the second spot? James is like, receiver. Receiver or O-line from my man Javon. Interior O-lineman, my man Benny George is saying interior O-lineman. Bills Mafia says right tackle. You know what I'm saying? 2 is receiver. It's got to be receiver. Well, here's the deal, folks. I struggled to see where I was going to go with this. Where am I going to go with this? And I said, F it. Running back. Running back is the number 2. And let me go a little bit more in so you guys understand it. Jim Kelly had a lot to say not too long ago. It'd be nice to not have Josh Allen do all the things that he does for this team. It'd be nice to have yourself an impact baller, a guy that can take the pressure. I'm not talking about carry, you know what I mean, take the pressure off and give it to some guy just to eat up the carries and really goes nowhere. We had that last year. That's why we traded Zach Moss. Eating up carries but going really nowhere. So Jim Kelly's like, maybe you might want to kind of look at running back. And I'm like, wait a minute now. Who's running the rock for Jim Kelly? Oh, that's right. Impact player, Thurman Thomas, Hall of Famer. Take the pressure off. And taking the pressure off of these quarterbacks doesn't mean just eat the carries. Nah, man, take the pressure off, meaning put some stress on the defense. Put some stress on the defense. Rip that one for 27 yards. Kenneth Walker puts pressure on the defense. It takes pressure off of Geno Smith because you have a back like Kenneth Walker. You have a back like Breece Hall. You have a back like Najee Harris. These guys are great backs, man. Let me tell you something, man. Now that we're in this running back talk, there was a tweet earlier today that someone's like, you know what? For those that always talk about running backs are a dime a dozen, you should never take a running back in the first round, all that talk, all for all those guys. Maybe some of y'all can, let's talk about linebacker. Maybe linebacker falls in that never take a linebacker in the first round. And he goes with a list of linebackers that were taken, first round linebackers, right? 2015, Stephon Anthony. You guys know who Stephon Anthony is? Neither do I, right? Darren Lee in 2016. Reuben Foster. We already know Reuben Foster was a dog, but he got into legal trouble, so you know how that goes. Jared Davis. The Jared Davis, I know a couple times he's been hurt right now. So is he really impactful anywhere in this game right now? Not to my knowledge. Rashawn Evans, Leighton Vander Esch just signed a 1-year deal to go back to the Dallas Cowboys because they weren't going to bring him back until he had to take a cheap deal. Right? Tremaine Edmonds, big money deal for Tremaine Edmonds. That 18 draft wasn't so bad. Roquan Smith, 2019, you got Devin Bush and Devin White. 2020, Isaiah Simmons. What's he doing? Kenneth Murray. I like K9. K9 was supposed to be that guy, but has he been as impactful? You've been hearing his name a lot for the Chargers? Nah. Right? Jordan Brooks. You know who Jordan Brooks is? Neither do I. Right? Zaven Collins. A little too soon to see what Zaven Collins is about, but what's Zaven Collins done? Has he been impactful? Has he done anything? Not a whole lot. Jamin Davis, Devin Lloyd, and then Quay Walker. Quay Walker cut a couple screws loose in the head, hitting people out of bounds, getting kicked out of the game. So, like, any of these guys stand out to you? Like, woo, watch out. So then I was like, hold on, let's go to the running back group. How many? I want to know who the first round running backs that have come out since 2015. Let's start off in 2015. Melvin Gordon in 2015. That's a good, solid back. And he's still relevant somewhat now. Actually, no, this is the first year that he's just been, the last couple of years he's been irrelevant. But when he was on, he was on. His first, on his rookie deal, he was nice like that. I'm surprised that he hasn't gone further. Let's keep it moving. 2016, Ezekiel Elliott. Ezekiel Elliott has been a freaking solid freaking player in this game. He ain't no bum. Everybody knows that. Has he declined a little bit? Potentially. But he was impactful right from the start for his team. And you can't tell me he wasn't. Look at Christian McCaffrey. Right? That's the 2017 draft. Leonard Fournette. Those boys, when they got drafted to their team, they were solid for their team. They were contributors right off the bat for their team. They took the pressure off their quarterback. Leonard Fournette was a little beast. You didn't want to get in front of Leonard Fournette. And I'm not talking about second contract guys. I'm talking about rookie deal guys. These running backs when they were in their rookie deals. Sonny Michel, bum. I already put that in there. Bum. Right from the start. The Patriots did a terror. They shouldn't have done it. Right? Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny is going on his second contract. Can't stay healthy. That's the problem with Rashad Penny. Josh Jacobs. G. Going back to the Raiders. But impactful. Takes the pressure off his quarterback. He is nice like that. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Bum. I don't know what these guys were thinking by grabbing Clyde Edwards-Helaire later on. He wasn't that nice. Right? Travis Etienne. Now that he's healthy, look how impactful he was to Trevor Lawrence. And look how far Trevor Lawrence and the freaking Jaguars went. They actually had a damn run game. And then Najee Harris. Solid every down back. Catches the football out of the backfield and runs the rock. And I bring these names up because you need to take the pressure off your quarterback. Every one of these guys can do that and have done that in their first 5 years in the league on their rookie contracts. So let's move on back to the running back position. To me, that's the number 2 best positional need that I think that we have and I think that we can address in this draft. And we're in the prime spot for a running back to fall right to us. It's not like we're picking top 10. We're picking late, 27th pick. We might even trade down. You just never know. Cook going into his second year. Harris, he's on a 1-year deal for $1.77 million. If we need to get rid of him, we can. It ain't going to cost us a whole lot. Nyheim Hines, he's going into his second year with the team. He's going to be a dual player. He's going to be catching the football out of the backfield, punt return, and kick return. Love that. Until maybe Deontay Hardy comes in and takes care of business. We were near the bottom statistically when running the football. Near the bottom. Take Josh out of the equation. The running backs alone. We were the second fewest in carries, and we were the second fewest in touchdowns. Can't smell the end zone, and we ain't touching the football. Not touching enough. Come on now. You got to protect Josh Allen, and you got to take the pressure off of him. How do you do that? You get yourself an impact dog of a running back. But we got James Cook, and we got Damian Harris. I don't give two shits. You got a game-changing running back that you can grab in the first round, you grab him. You grab him. Figure the rest out afterwards. Let me tell you something, man. Josh Allen accounted for 35% of the rush yards from the Buffalo Bills. 35%. Fam. Nah. You can't do that. You can't have that. Your quarterback accounting for 35% of your rush yards. We had 2,300 yards. I think 2,200 yards rushing. Josh had 762 of that. Come on now. Nah, man, we got to help him out. We got to help our quarterback out. We got to help the team out. And I said, it's not about just giving the carries to these guys. It's about when these guys get the ball, they put immense pressure on the defense. Immense pressure, and takes pressure off of Josh, and now he can play loose because now the defense is on their toes. Shit, play action is really going to matter this time. Do you think anybody gave two shits when we did play action with Devin Singletary and James Cook in the backfield? Hell no, they didn't. Hell no, they didn't. You can play action all you want. I ain't biting. But you get a guy that will stress you, or you better be on your toes, linebackers, and lean forward so that play action can actually work. I see Javon sitting here giving me stats. Says Cook averages 5.7 yards a carry with the bottom 5 O-line. Give him the RB role 1 with Harris in the committee and a better O-line, and he will cook. That 5.7, the 5.7 looks really good when you had less than 100 carries. Let's give it a buck. You had less than 100 carries, so the average looks really good. I get what Javon is saying, but the average was really good when you only had 89 carries. Just saying. You know what I'm saying? All right. But I'm not taking away that. I'm not taking away your point. Not at all. So to me, I look at this running back position. If you get a guy that falls to you at 27, like a Bijan Robinson to me, because I think he's the back in this draft. He falls to you, you don't skip on that, you grab it. Because we can't go back to having the second fewest. And which brings me to my next point. Dorsey has a lot of explaining to do if he doesn't get this system rolling, if he doesn't get this scheme rolling. And he's got a lot of adjustments to make. We got to be better. We got to be better. Make your adjustments, or you're going to be at that podium talking about, oh, well, we tried to get, I'm saying, this team, the team going, but Josh is an alpha guy, and Josh is just going to do what Josh does, and rah, 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 rah. Yo, we're tired of hearing that shit. We're tired of hearing that shit. Get the boys the ball and distribute it as they're supposed to, so you can take pressure off your damn quarterback. Josh is going to be Josh, and you know that. Help your boy out. So to me, number 2, RB position. And number 1, what is the number 1 position that you think that the Bills should definitely go after no matter what? Round 1, you got to hit on this position. The draft need for the Buffalo Bills. Who do you got? Who stands out to you? What position stands out to you? Jim Graham says receiver. Z-Type says the O-line. Well, I ain't going to wait for y'all to try to figure it out. It's receiver. It's receiver. It's funny. You're like, what? No O-line on this list? Nah. Because we went 13-3, primarily passing the football with not an effective run game. And we added some I guess you could say some pieces that will help this O-line, that will improve this O-line. So no, I didn't add any O-line. A receiver, though, I definitely going to go there. So let's just put it this way. It's very simple. Stephon Diggs is 29 years of age. He is your quintessential alpha freaking receiver on the squad. Number one, ain't no fronting about it. That's your guy. Gabe Davis had his best statistical year last year, but guess what? He's going into his final year of his contract. Are we planning to bring him back? Are we going to extend him and try to give him the bag? Because you know damn well he's going to want the bag. He ain't going to come back on some hometown discount because I love Buffalo so much. No. He wants the bag. I can guarantee you that he wants the bag. So consider him potentially gone. I'm on the fence of more he will leave and try to get the bag somewhere else where I'm appreciated. So Diggs, Davis, Shakir. Shakir going into his second year. I'm very much looking forward to Shakir. I don't know about y'all, but Shakir showed me a lot of things last year that you're like, this guy can be nice. Let's talk about it. I read somewhere that they consider Khalil Shakir like the mini Deebo Samuels. He's like a Deebo Samuels light. And that's a hell of a compliment because he's just the dog. He's a football player. So let's roll. So Davis, Diggs, Shakir in your slot, and then we've got some role player receivers in Hardy and Sherfield. Hardy's probably going to assume the role of kick return, punt return, or most likely punt return, and give us that Isaiah McKenzie / the role that should have gone to Nyheim Hines, but now Hardy's here, so he might be our gadget guy. We'll see how that plays out if my man Dorsey is creative enough. But that's all. He's got all offseason to figure that part out. So there's your receiver room. The one-year deal guys, Hardy and Sherfield, they're really just one-year deals. If you're not cutting it, you gone. So the person that's still on this team by next year is going to be Khalil Shakir and Stephon Diggs. You got to draft yourself a receiver. So to me, receiver, you got to hit. And here's what made it stand out to me. That game against the Jets really stood out to me. It really stood out to me. And then it stood out to me even more when we faced the Bengals in the playoffs. We just weren't good enough. We were just not good enough. And you got a beautiful ball thrown to Gabe Davis on the sideline. Right on the money. You couldn't have asked for a more accurate football thrown. Drop. So when we see those things in big games and big moments, we screaming for another receiver. And this is where the Bills come in at number 27 and say, you know what? We're not messing around. We need this offense to continue to roll. We need this offense to continue to be a badass team. We're going to draft ourselves a nice young stud of a receiver that doesn't need, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't need a lot of coddling. Excellent route receiver, excellent speed, in and out of breaks, and will take the pressure off of my quarterback and take the pressure off of Stephon Diggs. You got to bring yourself a young receiver in this first round draft pick. You got to. That would be my number one. Number one is receiver. Bring us our receiver because by next year, when Gabe Davis decides to walk, if Hardy comes back, great. If Sherfield comes back, awesome. And then we have two young bucks of receivers with Stephon Diggs. We rolling. You're gonna have Diggs, Shakir, young receiver. And then that's when we keep the engine rolling and we keep giving and feeding Josh Allen excellent pieces because we've seen when he's looking and throwing to biscuits, they ain't catching anything. When you got a biscuit on your freaking O-line and you got a biscuit as well as on your receiving line, you got nothing. So that's when Beane was like, all right, we got to change that up. Let me go get some Smurfs, get a little smaller. But those boys can get separation, and it helped Josh it helped him get in there and explode and have a great year. So now Josh knows what the standard is. So who do we go and get? Who do we go and get for draft in this receiving class? We got some good ones. And some good ones are going to fall to Buffalo at 27. Get a young stud that is similar to a Stephon Diggs that doesn't need anything and can get himself open and give Josh that target. I don't want any body catching, man. Snag that thing out there. It's going to be fun, man. So let's recap before I get out of here. Big draft positional needs. Safety. That's number 5 for me. Number 4, linebacker. Linebacker would be a nice position to get. Is it Jack Campbell? Who knows? Is it Saunders? I have no idea. I haven't really looked into it. I'm going to jump in there in the film room and see what's going on. 3rd, defensive tackle. We need an impact gamer. Daquan Jones can't be the guy that's running shit and wrecking shit at age 31. We need our young bucks to step up. Ed Oliver, that's you. That's supposed to be you. Last year was supposed to be a massive year for you. Now we owe you $10 million. You need to have a massive year. I don't want no Marcel Darius bullshit either. Come with it. After defensive tackle, give me the RB position, running back position. And I can keep telling you, man, take the pressure off Josh. And I don't mean by just giving up the carries. Let this guy have 24, 25 carries. I'm not talking about that, man. You can get a running back that has 12 to 15 carries. That's an impact player. Not a good running back, but a solid elite running back that can make things happen. You give Saquon Barkley type back 12 carries to 13 to 14 carries with a quarterback like Josh Allen. You can't tell me he's giving you 43 yards rushing. Heck no. Heck no. When you got a Daniel Jones, that's a little different. When you got a Josh Allen with a Saquon back there, type of back, that's problems. So let a guy like Bijan be available. You see the way the Dolphins are loading up? You see the way the Jets are attempting to load up? They loaded up in the receiver room. They're loaded at the running back room. They get the quarterback that they think that is that's the missing piece. This East is going to be a tough division. So we got to fight fire with fire. At the end of the day, you know what matters in this game? Scoring points. And guess what? In the playoffs, 10 points ain't going to cut it. The Bengals absolutely mollywopped us. They mollywopped us. We did diddly squat that game. Diddly freaking squat. I didn't even 27-10. What could you do with that? Nothing. Josh Allen wasn't good. The running back wasn't good. The O-line was terrible. The receivers weren't good. Nothing was good that game. You know that. Yet, in this draft, you hit receiver, you're great. You hit an RB, even better. To me, we go RB, receiver, DL. We're laughing. But we'll see. But if you ain't there at 27, Bijan, we got to go receiver. If Bijan's gone, some guy has the Bijan going to the freaking Eagles at 10. It's crazy. But you know what? If the Eagles took him at 10, that's because they know that is a game-changing back, and that'll help them stay with the edge in the NFC East. So why not let that brother fall to us so we can freaking have an edge? Because that's a big piece that we need. But we got James Cook. Well, we're about to find out. And here's an extra thing for me that kind of that McDermott kind of pisses me off a little bit. McDermott has this thing where he has us fans, and this is a fan issue. It has nothing to do with McDermott, but I'm gonna blame McDermott anyway. McDermott has this thing about holding on to rookies and not really letting them play. And it's got us fans talking like, yo, is he good or is he not good? Like, do you know anything about Terrell Bernard? Did he get enough playing time for you to see, yo, could this guy play or not? Especially with Edmonds being out. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? Can James Cook play? We trade Zach Moss. All right, James Cook is going to get a whole lot of carries. We're going to see a lot of 89 carries all year long. Like, come on, son. Like, get these guys on the field so we can see what these guys have. We're sitting here wondering if these guys are good or not. Like, you feel me? Like, come on, man. Like, is Elam solid or is he not there? He's in the game. He's out of the game. He's inactive. He's active. Like, fam, make up your mind. He's a first-round draft pick. Put him on the freaking field. I digress. But you guys catch what I'm saying, man. McDermott, Beane, this draft is crucial because we need some impact players immediately. I need these players to freaking contribute. So you better, wherever the Jets go, because they seem to freaking have a pulse on this drafting thing. So if you hear they're flying to Arizona to go watch someone in Arizona, you better go fly with them and find out what the hell they're doing. Because the Jets are really doing something in that damn draft room. That's real. And that's real as it can get, man. But that's it, man. I wanted to drop that on y'all. Tell me what you guys think. How do you guys see your top 5 positional draftees? By position, what are you thinking? Drop them right now in the chat. Are you in the similar boat as myself? Safety, number 5. Number 4, linebacker. Number 3, DT. Number 2, running back. Number 1, receiver. And you know what? Honorable mention, I think we should draft a quarterback. Kyle Allen doesn't do it for me whatsoever. But we only carry 2 quarterbacks. So I would still kind of consider looking at a quarterback, a nice developmental quarterback, and let him sit, a young quarterback, and let him sit. But that's honorable mention. So where do you guys see it? Zomadong says, I think we go LB in the first, linebacker in the first. Chum Lee, what's up, Chum? Chum Lee says, yo, we got to go receiver, we got to go O-line, and we got to go linebacker. Okay, I like it. Linebacker, defense, and you got to go receiver. I like it. Do you say defense coordinator? You hating on Legend Frazier? Frogers always played safe. McDermott. I hope we'll be different. We'll see, man. They say that McDermott is a very aggressive coach. He's an aggressive style coaching. He's got that style of an aggressive coach. So maybe we see more blitzes. Maybe we see more exotic blitzes. Get closer to the line. We'll see, man. We might have the old Panther days when these guys went, you know what I'm saying, to the Super Bowl with a nice defense. Good corners, good linebackers. Maybe linebacker is important. Maybe that's what they get in the first round. Who knows? We're going to find out. We will find out. So what do you guys like? The Pats took developmental QBs all the time, man. And they do. And guess what? They end up shipping them. They shipped them somewhere else. They had Ryan Mallett one year. Ryan Mallett was supposed to be, that next dude. Shipped. It happens, man. Jimmy G, shipped. And look at that. Jimmy G's about to get paid with the Raiders. Good for Jimmy G, man. Good for Jimmy G. So, folks, I saw my man Chumley says, yo, draft Georgia legend Stetson Bennett. Well, I highly doubt we'll do that. But you never know, man. I mean, look, we drafted Jake Fromm. So it's not like we're not looking for, a young quarterback to sit behind us. Jake Fromm was drafted in the 5th round. So I can see us drafting a quarterback for sure. And then go from there. We'll see. My man C. Kadai says you got to go O-line, defensive tackle, receiver, running back, and quarterback. Oh, you win on that quarterback, huh? Okay. I see you, bro. David Stevens says, yo, Campbell is too slow. Let me read you. I'm gonna see if my man Bobby has a write-up on it. Because I gotta read you a little something on Jack Campbell to see what my man Bobby was talking about. Because he's got a thread that he's turning people's heads right now. People are like, man, I don't know if I'm all in on Jack Campbell. Ever since my man Bobby put that out there, kind of gives you an idea of what to expect. Hold on a second here. Let's see. No, that's not what I want to see here. So Jack Campbell. I'm going to see if you put it right up on Jack Campbell. Because a lot of folks are talking about Jack Campbell being that dude, but is he? Is Jack Campbell that dude? I don't know, man. So draft needs, post free agency. So if we are and I can tell right now, these are the players that we should be looking at. Shout out to my man Bobby for putting this list together. So linebacker, receiver, O-line, D-line. Disrespectful. He didn't even have running back on there. Bobby, we got to talk about your list, bro. we got to talk about your list, homie. So if you're looking at the linebacker position in the first round, you got to look at Drew Sanders, excuse me, Trenton Simpson, Jack Campbell, Henry To'o, and Noah Sewell. You got to look at those linebackers right there. If we're going to go for a linebacker in the first round, that's where you go. Ismail Manero says, yo, stop looking at 40 time, man. Game speed is more important. Game speed is more important. 40 time is cool, straight line speed, but game speed is what you want. Game quickness is what you want. Yo, CR says, yo, Rico, you might as well suit up as RB. I would love it. Wouldn't that be fun? That'd be dope. Let's look at the receiver room. If you're going to go receiver in the first round, Jackson Smith and Jigba, doubt it that he falls to 27, but if he does, hop all over it or you trade up and grab it. Zay Flowers, I like Zay Flowers. Ever since somebody told me that he, I forgot who the scout was. Some scout said that he's very much, I think it was Bucky Brooks. Bucky Brooks says he's very much like Antonio Brown. And when I look at Zay Flowers play, all I see is now Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown is all I see when I watch. If you go watch Zay Brown. If you go watch Zay Flowers, go and take a look and look at the similar styles, and then all you'll see is Antonio Brown style. Next up, Quentin Johnson, big boy, 6'4", over 200 pounds. I think he's playing out of TCU. Not a great route runner, but can do the damn thing. Jordan Addison and Josh Downs, slot receivers, small guys that can run routes. O-line, Paris Johnson Jr., Darnell Wright, DeJuan Jones, Osiris Torrance, and Steve Avila. And if you go to D-line, you got Jalen Carter, you got Brian Brees, which is a big boy, and Keanu Benton, Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith would be really nice, and then Will McDonald IV. So here's the deal. With those lists, my man Bobby likes these 4 players. He likes Drew Sanders for the Bills. He likes Zay Flowers for the Bills. He likes Darnell Wright. If we go with the O-line, Darnell Wright for the Bills. And last but not least, Brian Brees. Defensive line, Brian Brees for the Bills. I saw highlights of Brian Brees. Brian Brees could be nice, man. He's killing kids in high school. My gosh. He was a man amongst boys. It was sickening. Johnson don't high point the ball, man. No thanks. And you know what? He doesn't high point. He's a body catcher. You're right, Ishmael. He's a body catcher. Not interested in that. Because we know what body catchers do, man. In crucial moments, they drop the football. I need a guy that's going to snag that thing and go from there. My man said, yo, any concerns about Flowers being 5'9"? Heck no. You know who else was 5'9" and was an absolute dog? Steve Smith. Steve Smith was 5'9". He wasn't no 4.3 burner speed. He was just a dog on the field. And if you give me a dog that all he does is make plays, man, yo, sign me up. We ain't got to talk about nothing else. Sign me up. I'm not worried about no height no more, man. Yo, height ain't everything, man. There's a whole bunch of tall-ass, whack-ass guys out there that ain't doing shit for us or shit for anybody else. It's about getting separation in this league. You get separation, yo, the rest is history, man. The rest is history. Playmakers is what we want. So, folks, I got research to do. You guys got some research to do. We'll see how this all plays out. I'm looking forward to it. And listen, man, we'll see where this draft is going to take us. Brandon Beane, we got lots of things to handle, my boy. We got lots of things to handle. We got to make things happen. So many things need to happen but this team. But I'm going to tell you right now, man, just get the right pieces that fit on this team that can contribute right off the bat. Let's roll. My man said, yo, Steve Smith weighed almost 200 pounds. I'm not talking about the weight, my guy. I'm talking about the height. Height to me don't matter. And when you're a dog, you could be soaking, you could be freaking 149 pounds soaking wet. But you got that dog mentality in you. That's all you need, baby. Now, weight does help, but it's all here, man. It's all mentality. Steve Smith wasn't a big dude, but it's mentality. Now, Zay Flowers is a completely different. I told you the comparison it's more like Steve, you're gonna say Steve, Antonio Brown. But in terms of height and stature, 5'9", yo, give me that. Anyway, folks, let me let you get out of here and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday evening. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I usually go on Tuesday evenings, but I had to, come out and bless the mic and get on here. And hopefully I can be back here on Friday. I know that we've been going once a week. I'm going to try to get back into it since the draft is coming along. I'm going to try to get back into it, going back twice a week so we can ball out and have a good time. So if you guys enjoyed the show, you guys know what to do. Smash that like. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. And listen, folks, you guys have yourself a great one. And we will catch you guys again potentially on Friday. If you guys have any suggestions of shows and topics that you want us to hit, it's very simple. We are accessible. Hit us up by email. Go to the Instagram page. Go to the Twitter page. Look us up. Hit us up. And then we go from there. So, folks, enjoy the rest of your evening. I know I will. And we will catch you guys on the flip side. And, folks, until next time, have yourself a fantastic evening. It's your boy. Catch you on the flip side. And listen to us. And we guys see you guys potentially on Friday. Go Bills.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.